Alright, what's up you hardcore motherfuckers? Before I did this review, I was watching a movie called Swords of Destiny. You guys really need to check it out. It's a really awesome movie. I'm gonna have the link of the trailer in the description box so you can see what it looks like, okay? But let's get this review over with. So as usual, we get highlights from last week's show. And then the show starts up with Jeff Hardy coming out. Now Jeff Hardy says that he wrestles every match like it is its last, and that he does it for the creatures because together we're an army, we are unstoppable, and we the creatures will succeed. Now, right when he was about to talk about when he right when he was about to talk um, about decay, they come out, and then Abyss talks first. Then Abyss says that what they did last week was nothing personal, it was just business, and that Jeff would be a good addition to the family. You know, if Jeff were to join them, he would be good. But his devotions to these creatures makes him weak, and that he Abyss is beautiful. Okay, and then Crazy Steve talks. Crazy Steve says, "Your creatures makes you weak." By the way, if you don't know this yet, Crazy Steve has sightseeing problems. Like, he has legit sightseeing problems, which is why, if you have noticed, his eyes are like making these weird thingies. He has sightseeing problems, in case you didn't know, okay? And then after that, Jeff said, the only way you can decay is if you die, but you're not dead yet, but I'm going to make you. Then Rosemary says that Jeff's head is a price. His pain and suffering fetched a high price, and that decay is well compensated. Then Jeff says, "Oh, someone paid you. Someone paid decay." And then Abyss says, "That is what he meant when he said that it was nothing personal, it was just business, and that the person who paid them will reveal himself when the time is right." And then Jeff starts to fight them. But of course, during the fight, James Storm came out. And then Storm says that Decay owes him a title match. So we get a title match between those two and Jeff Hardy, because he was then teaming up with Jeff Hardy. But yeah, as far as the match goes, it was actually an okay match. It was a good match, of course. I mean, it's Jeff Hardy and James Storms. Basically, those two are the one carrying the match. But during the match, something happens. Like, the lights went out, but then Willow came out. Of course, not the real Willow, but someone that was in the Willow suit. Willow came out, but distracting Jeff Hardy, which gave Abyss the upper hand. He spit the mist in his face and got the 3 count. So that was something very interesting. They keep teasing us with these willow things. It's definitely leading to something. So then after that we get a backstage segment or a backstage scene that with Drew. Drew said he doesn't like Lashley. He's happy that Lashley is #1 contender, so there's no ducking him, and that the fight will happen. And that he's going to the ring to pretty much call Lashley out. After that, we get another backstage scene, this time with Jeff Hardy. You know, Jeff Hardy's all pissed off because this Willow came out one, and he says that that is not Willow, that he is the real Willow. We live, we love, we hate, we die forever late, and that he will reveal the fake Willow, basically his face, tonight, and that he's not in Willow's way and never will be. So later on we get to see what happens, and then after that we get another backstage scene with oh no, sorry, we get highlights from Maria and Mike. They were at a show that Billy Corgan did. This was basically about them having ideas, and that they spoke with Billy Corgan about it. And after that, then we get to the ring. Drew comes out. Drew says he won the title, that when he won the title, he promised he would be different to everybody that held him before him, and that he would defend it anytime, anywhere, with anybody, and he calls out Lashley. Lashley comes out. Lashley then asks him if he finally respects him or is afraid of him. Drew says that Lashley shows up whenever he pleases. He sneak attacks, and that when someone calls him out, he's nowhere to be found. And that Lashley's a dangerous guy, but Drew isn't afraid of him. Lashley now says that Drew should be scared that he's the number one contender, because he's been hurting the whole roster, and that he's the only real fighter around. Then Drew asks Lashley why they won't fight for the title right now. Bobby then says if they were to fight right now, he would whoop his ass in record time, and that these people deserve a prize fight, something they can look forward to, which is the two fighting, but not right now. So of course Eli and Drew Galloway still wanting to fight because he's here for a fight. So right after that, so right when Bobby Lashley walked out, Eli Drake came out, my guy. Then Eli Drake, his catchphrase, "Let me talk to you." Then Eli Drake says, if Lashley doesn't want to take an opportunity, then Eli Drake will create an opportunity of his own. Because Drew, with me and you, it will never be over. When I came to Impact, I came to collect gold. That piece of ore right next to you belongs to me. That's the Holy Grail, only you don't have to pray to God because you're looking at him. Here we go again with another guy that think he's God. First we had like uh, EC3 and Eric Young, then Mike Bennett, now it's Eli Drake, and of course Ric Flair. We all know he calls himself the wrestling god as well. Um, but then he goes on to saying that in the church of Eli Drake, there's only one God. So if you got enough tickle in your lungs, you will be losing that title. So we get him, and then Drew says he picked the wrong night, the wrong guy, and that he's here for a fight, and then he starts to fight with Eli Drake, and then we get a match. Eli Drake is so freaking good on the microphone, man. Like seriously, this guy just doesn't miss anything. He's really fluent on the microphone. As far as the match goes, it was okay though. Drew Galloway pretty much had the whole thing in control. He carried the whole match. Eli Drake needs to do a lot more in the ring though, because he is a good talker, but his wrestling is really, it's solid. It's not all that, but he really needs to do a lot more with his move set, or else he's gonna get really stale after a while, and people are gonna notice that, and then they're gonna start booing him. Because that is what happened on the first time when EC3 came around. People really started booing him because of his wrestling. And I personally still don't think EC3 his wrestling is all that great. It's still boring to me. But anyways, Drew basically won this match. It was an okay match. Nothing all that. But after that we get a backstage scene with Maria, Jade and Gil Kim. Maria called the two out to talk to them. This was basically just Maria putting up a match between the two together because Gil Kim wanted a rematch. So she pretty much gives Gil Kim the rematch, but only Sienna, Alice, and Kay will be at ringside. So after that, we get a in-ring segment which featured EC3 and Mike Bennett. I'm so sorry, but I really didn't feel like talking about this segment because honestly, to me, this feud between Mike Bennett and EC3 has got to be the most boring one right now. You wanna know why? Because it's the same thing every time. Same promos where this one is better, that one does that, blah blah blah. It's just the same thing every time. It gets boring, and with knowing that I am not really an EC3 fan, makes me uninterested. Makes me even more uninterested. So I kept this segment like really as short as I could. EC3 wants a rematch. Mike Bennett said he's gonna let EC3 battle his demons from the past, and if he beats all of them, he will get his rematch. And he gets his first match tonight in a 6 sides of steel, and the person he will fight, we will find out later on at the show. So after that we get a Gail Kim versus Jade match. Honestly, this was actually the only match that really entertained me and that I really thought was one of the better matches on the whole show, because this was literally a technical match. There were a lot of technical moves involved, a lot of submissions. It was a solid match. It was a good match actually. But it was a no-win contest because of course Sienna was involved. She attacked Gail Kim and Jade. She did her finisher in the ring to Gail Kim, and that's how it ends. I kind of see where they're going with this. I'm guessing they're gonna set up maybe a triple threat with Jade, Sienna, and Gail Kim for the Knockouts title, or they could just have Jade versus Sienna. But either way, she's gonna have a match real soon. We can all see that coming. So after that, we get a highlight of Al Snow where he's at his wrestling academy or wrestling school, whatever you want to call it, where he basically talks about how the young kids here at his school get to learn the respect and how it should be done, and not what that and not how it is right now, where people just walk in, get an opportunity, this and that, because he's all pissed off still about the whole Grado and Mahabali just getting a shortcut, a free pass, and all that. So after that, we get a match right away with Al Snow against Mahabali for I think this is the second time or third time now. It's just the same thing. It's another sloppy match, nothing too great, too special. Al Snow tried to cheat, but this time Grado came out to distract him, so Mahabali Shira did his finisher and got the 3 count. I really don't know where they're going with this. I'm honestly not all that interested in this feud. However, the story is kind of kept me going. It is an interesting story, but the whole wrestling thing, Al Snow against Grado and Mahabali Shira, sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. And then after that we get a backstage scene or segment, whatever you want to call it, where Jeff Hardy is looking for the fake Willow, because remember that's not the real Willow. Jeff Hardy is, so he's looking for him at backstage, and then he sees one of them, yeah, and he starts to fight him, but then another one comes along to fight him too, and of course those two get the upper hand, but then after a while you see another Willow come out. Okay, at first I was like, we know that recently TNA signed 2 new guys, right? So my guess is, I believe that 2 of the Willows are those 2 guys that were recently signed. Okay, I think I might be wrong, but the third one, I don't know who the third one is. I don't think they will put Sherry Bomb in that, because they signed Sherry Bomb as well. I don't think they'll put her in that. Might be though, but we'll see. This is really interesting. This is really interesting. I like where they're going with this story right now. But like I said in my review from last week, if they are gonna go with this, where Jeff Hardy is gonna come out as Willow again, they need to do it with him just coming out as Willow, not the constant Jeff Hardy and then next week Willow and then next week Jeff Hardy again. No, they just need him to be Willow for a little while. That's how they need to do it this time. Okay, that's how I want to see it doing. But this is really, I like where they're going with this. I see what they're doing here. So let's hope we do get a Willow return, the real Willow, which is Jeff Hardy, because they have been teasing us with this Willow thing ever since the whole Eric Young thing. But we'll see where this goes. But it's interesting. So after that we have the main event, which is EC3 against Rockstar Spot. That was his first opponent, by the way, Rockstar Spot. Go figure. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really an EC3 fan, so There's just something about this guy that really doesn't entertain me. I do give credit where it's due. He is a good talker, but that's just where it is for me. Like any other thing doesn't really interest me. What he does, I don't know. It's just me. It's just me. I just don't see anything really in the guy. In this guy, I call him the John Cena of TNA. And if you were someone like me, that then you would see and understand why I call him that. So I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm gonna let you figure out why I call him that. So you need to play really close attention if you want to know why I call him that. But yeah, it was an okay match, nothing too special. Like steel cage matches aren't anything special anymore. If you haven't noticed, like doesn't matter what promotion, whenever it's a steel cage match, it isn't really something special. Steel cage matches are a little bit played out in professional wrestling right now, unless they do something entirely different. Like example, TNA did something, there does something different. The lethal lockdown, you have the weapons come down and all of that. That's something different. That I can accept. But if it's just a normal steel cage match, they don't really do, because the steel cage match you used it for as a weapon as well, so you pretty much basically bash the guy his head until blood comes, but they don't really do that anymore as well. You only see that more in indie wrestling. Mainstream wrestling sucks, really sucks though, but I still watch TNA because I'm a TNA fan. It's the only mainstream wrestling I watch. I don't watch the bigger one. But yeah, it was an okay match. EC3 won. Um, overall rating, I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm just gonna give it a 7 out of 10. The matches were, yeah, Gelcam Jade was the only match that kinda I thought was really good and entertained me. The other matches were just okay, not boring though, they were just okay. So that's just about it. I hope next week will be a lot better though. There was still a little bit too much talking, but yeah, I hope next week is gonna be better. I'm more now. My attention, this Jeff Hardy story has my full attention now because it gets really interesting, and I really want to see how this whole thing plays out, especially with DK being involved as well. Who knows, maybe Jeff Hardy still might end up joining DK. Maybe he might find a way to turn this whole thing around, turn the buyers, the mercenaries, against the buyer by him joining them and facing the Three Willows. I don't know. So we'll have to see. Okay, so if you watched this video all the way till the end, thank you very much. I'm a little bit sick, as you can see. I'm not really talking all that with full joy. I'm sorry, I'm kinda sick. It's raining like crazy over here. So I'm starting to get a cold and all of that. But I hope I'll be better next week though. But if you've watched this all the way till the end, thank you very much. If you've liked my review, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. That way you will know when I've uploaded a video, because I also do Lucha Underground reviews and other stuff. If I have a DVD, I do a review of that as well. So, but see you next week. Pinkies up. Too sweet. See you later, creatures.